empowerment. I am Anita Hicks, your host, motivational speaker, life coach, and business trainer. Thank you all for investing in yourself and joining us each and every Monday night. I am excited because, Les, you're here, right?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, how are you?
I'm great and grateful. Let the record show.
Absolutely. So, Les, first of all,
what about
before
yourself?
I am wonderful. Les, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. I have so much to be thankful for, and it was great to be back home. I got back the day before Thanksgiving from South Africa, which was a great experience. I'm going to talk about that. And I spent it relaxing and overcoming the jet lag and just reflecting on life, on how much I'm so appreciative of and things that we take for granted, and just really being thankful for family, for friends like yourself and Stacy, and for the ability to serve, that I'm still being used at this stage of my life to make a difference in people's lives. I'm so grateful to be able to talk to you right now. I don't take anything for granted anymore.
Well, Les, I tell you, I can hear it in your voice. I hear the strength. I hear the passion in your voice. I've been following you in South Africa. I watched your video as well, and I looked at your post. So I am thankful for you. I'm thankful for this call that you do and you put out in the universe and how much you give. A lot of people, they hear you on this call, but they don't know how humble you are and how much you actually give. And you deposit back into us as your platinum speakers. So I want to say thank you, and I am thankful for you. But right now, I am excited to hear what you have to say. So I'm going to put my phone on mute.
Okay, now, did you get the information about the event we're doing this Friday in Los Angeles at the Founders Church? Did Hassan talk about that?
Yes, he did, and Stacy's going to talk about that at the end of the call. We're going to give all the announcements. Hassan talked about it. It is on your Facebook page, and we're going to mention it again at the end of the call.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'd like to thank everybody for being on the call, and I trust that you had a great Thanksgiving with your family and your friends, and I want to give a message to the young lady who called, and she said that she was sleeping in her car, going through this journey, this growth experience, been there, done that, bought the T-shirt. Don't define yourself where you are right now. If you don't have 2 pennies to roll together, you woke up in your right mind, you have your health. Trust me on this. You're still here, and this is just a journey. And the fact that you're at this stage of your life, when you're down to nothing, that means that God is up to something. Keep that in mind. When you're down to nothing, that means that God is up to something with your life. That has happened to me time and time again, and others. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns, but he was able to bring joy to the world. And I want everybody to think about your goals, think about your dreams, think about what you are thankful for. I had the opportunity to spend some time in South Africa, and it was a great experience, an eye-opening experience. I want to say congratulations to Candace Haynes, who's one of our platinum speakers. She's 25 years old, a former Marine out of Fort Lauderdale, really out of Miami, but lives in Fort Lauderdale. And she did an outstanding job. For those of you that don't know, our goal and objective is to train 100,000 voices of hope and help to accelerate the careers of people that are serious. And Candace is one of those individuals that's serious. She's a marketing genius and help people to package themselves and market themselves on the internet. But in addition to that, and capturing their image on video, she's a producer for Tracy Lynn Fashion and Jewelry. But she can speak. And let me tell you, she brought the juice. She made the old man work. She worked that audience in South Africa. She and Dr. Julie, they brought it from down deep. You could hear the drums beating when they got through. Coconuts were falling off the trees. Elephants were roaring and lions. They brought it from down deep. It was an experience. And it was great to see this young person speaking an international plantation of rather a platform and making a difference and living her dream, but also her work ethic and a level of seriousness and humility and versatility and how people connected with her. I want to ask you, what is your dream? I want you to think about that. We're doing an event called Jump Start. Get a jump start on 2014. Let me tell you one of the fascinating things that happened for me. I got a chance to spend time with entrepreneurs and people who are life coaches and people who are seeking to develop their story and learning how they can be able to communicate massively and to create a global brand. And to travel around the world and earn seven figures. And one of the fascinating things about where I was, and I did some interviews with some of the people one-on-one. A young man pulled me to the side and he said, "Mr. Brown?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I read your book, Live Your Dreams, 10 years ago." And he said, "I enjoyed it. I received it as a gift from my father. And I want to ask you something, sir." And I said, "What is that?" He said, "How do you do that?" I said, "What do you mean? How do you live your dream? That's what the book is about." "No. How do you dream?" Whoa. Because here, this young man who received my book 10 years ago, and that was 10 years after apartheid, that here's a young man that lived under an oppressive government that they were not allowed to dream. Black people, colored people were not allowed to dream. People from India were not allowed to dream. There was no option for them to become a doctor, to dream about becoming an engineer, to dream about being on television, to dream about becoming an engineer or going to some next level or traveling around the world or buying their own home, owning property, or being financially independent. That was not an option. They were living under an oppressive government that it was a mandate that they could not dream. They could only serve the Africans. They could only serve those who were in control. They couldn't dream. And what struck me, here this young man said, "How do you dream?" And I thought about just coming back home. I couldn't help but reflect so many people who have the opportunity to dream, but don't dream. Don't dream. So caught up in the bling-bling. So caught up in entertainment-driven culture. So caught up in thingism. Only concerned about the things that they can accumulate. And it reminded me of the words of "Lift every voice and sing," James Weldon Johnson. There's a line in there. "Lest our feet stray from the place our God where we met thee. Let our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee." And that's there's so many young people as well as adults who are so caught up in the distractions of life, who's so caught up in the bling-bling and the tattoos, and so caught up in the distractions that just entertain them and nothing on their minds. Nothing, not living a life of purpose and meaning and value. That if they died now, that the only way that you could know that they're dead if they happen to die in their home is because of a stench coming through the door. but not because of the kind of life that they live, where they were making a difference, where they were making a life that had some contribution, where they were able to give some service that people would be talking about them for years because of the quality of their life, because of the impact of their lives, because of the signature that they left and how they lived their lives. Somebody said that life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. Here's a young man saying, how do you do that? How do you dream? We have others who have the opportunity to dream who won't dream, who won't go to school, who drop out, who spend all of their time filling their minds with head trash and blaming everybody for their situation but themselves. How do you do that? How do you dream? I submit to you that a person who won't dream is just as bad off as somebody who does not know how to dream. Life has changed. What is your dream? How do you see yourself 5 years from now? 10 years from now? What is it you want to do with your life? What will you be worth? What will you be known for? If you died today, what 3 things that you will be known for, that people who gather to celebrate and to recognize your life, what would they be able to say about you? 3 things, 3 positive things they can say about you, that you're being born, you're being chosen by God out of 400 million sperm. Had it made a difference on the earth? What will be said about you when it's all said and done? Thought about that. I was working with these people in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I could see the intensity in their eyes as I spoke, when I did interviews with them one-on-one, each coming in there, feeling a little nervous and apprehensive, wanting me to choose them to be a part of an elite group that I would mentor and work with. And as I looked at them and their passion and their drive and their hunger and the intensity in their eyes, the willingness to do whatever is required, the drive to say, please select me. I want to make a difference. I've got a story. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. Select me, please. I want to go into the bush. I want to go into the villages where there's no light. I want to go to the villages where they have no electricity. I want to go into the villages where they don't have running water and speak to them and speak life into them. Choose me. Help me make a difference. Help me go out and reach those who the government feel unreachable. Help me go to the tents. Help me do my missionary work. Help me answer this call on my life that I have got to do. What is your dream? Not one of the individuals that I interviewed that came to talk, that waited in line to be chosen, not one of them said in the interview, I want to make a lot of money. That was not their primary objective. And that resonated with me. Because when I got into this business, when I saw the Zig Ziglars and Dr. Norman Vincent Peales and the Jim Rowans, my goal was I wanted to make a difference in people's lives as Mr. Washington made a difference in my life, as Mike Williams in Columbus, Ohio made a difference in my life. I wanted to be able to touch somebody's life, and as a result of what my speaking to them and the time that I pour into them, as Mike did with me, that their lives would never be the same again. That was my dream. I had no idea that dream would take me just this year alone to 4 continents. I had no idea. What is your dream? Don't give up on that dream. We need you to have that dream. We need you to make that dream become a reality. I don't care how hard it gets. Don't give up on that dream. Don't allow the disappointments and the setbacks and the temporary defeats stop you. No, that's a part of the process. You will grow through it. You will grow through it. You'll discover things about yourself. It will introduce you to a part of yourself. Don't stop. Keep falling forward. I can't tell you the number of people who laughed at me. I can't tell you the number of people who would not help me, who could help me, but wouldn't help me because they knew me, and based upon what they knew about me, they just could not see me living the life that I envisioned for myself. I'm saying to you, 96% of the people that will help you live your dreams are people that you don't know right now. There are people right in your family, friends who can help you, who won't lift a finger, because they already have this limited vision of who you are. They won't invest in you, but they'll go and invest in something else or someone else, but not you. No. See, a lot of people like crabs in a barrel. You're trying to get out, and they'll pull you back. They don't want to see you get out. Some people don't want to see you doing better. Some people are jealous and envious of you. One of the most painful times in my life when I had to have angioplasty, and one of my brothers said, "How you doing now?" with a sound of sarcasm, like he was envious and jealous of my accomplishments. I never asked him for anything. I never asked any of my brothers and sisters for anything. I never once said when my mother was alive, "Our mother, would you pay the mortgage note 1 month?" I never asked, and they never volunteered. There's some people who'll be jealous of you. Some people who want to see you fail. Oh, he thinks he's all that. Oh, she thinks she's all that. Well, look at her now. That's a part of life. Don't get caught up in it. Don't worry about it. Don't entertain it. Don't engage it. Don't focus on it. Focus on where you're going. What is your dream? What do you really want? Keep that foremost in your mind. Keep that in your heart and fight to keep that dream alive. The world will try and kill that dream. And many times you will have to give it mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Many times you have to remind yourself, don't leave it, don't desert it. Go back and get it. Talked to a friend of mine who became pregnant at 13, and I said, what happened to you, baby? She said, I got caught up in the moment. Got a text from her today, and she said, I escaped from Mobile, Alabama, and now I'm in another city, in another state, running from an abusive relationship. It's amazing the level of anger and insanity that a lot of these young men are walking around with in them. And there she is starting all over again now with 4 kids, starting all over again. Brilliant, but made some bad choices. And I'll never forget, what happened, baby? You know better. She said, I got caught up in the moment. I didn't say anything else because I know, being honest, that when I was younger, I was young and dumb. I made some decisions that did not represent the best and the highest in me. I made some decisions when I got caught up in the moment. I'll never forget when George Wallace, a comedian, saved me from being on the front pages of the Washington Post when I got caught up in the moment of anger, and I was about to fight a program director with Radio 1 in Washington, D.C., and he stepped between us and he said, "Lesbrown, no one knows him, but everybody knows you. You can't hit that man. He's baiting you. He's testing you. He's goading you. Don't go for it, man. Don't go for it." I've heard you say anger is the wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. Back down, Brown. Stand down. Cool off. I was lunging for this guy. I didn't even think. I got caught up in the moment. And all of us have had moments like that. I forgot my dream. I forgot who I was. And fortunately, I had somebody who didn't stand back and watch, somebody who didn't egg it on, somebody that didn't say, go, Les, yes, do that, man, kick his butt. No, I had somebody, George Wallace, a comedian, who said, no, Brown, you're better than this. See, when you have a dream and goal, things will happen. People will test you. Things will happen to distract you, to derail your dream. And many times you need people around you that will check you, that can speak to you, and you will listen to them. Many times when they're not around, you got to check yourself. And I've had those moments, had to check myself. When I had moments of fear, when I was in environments where I had to speak and I had to convince myself while I was pacing back and forth behind the curtains and being nervous, and people who went before me and they were strong and good and mesmerized the audience, and I was intimidated. I had to check myself and said, you don't have to compete with them. You've got a voice. You've got a story. You can speak. Just be you. I had to check myself. Just be you. There's not another Les Brown, Mamie Brown's baby boy. You corner this market here. This is you. This is what you do. This is who you are. See, sometimes in life, when you have a goal, you have a dream, you got to check yourself. You got to talk to yourself and convince yourself, encourage yourself that I can do this. And I have to ask you a question. Who's around you? Constantly look at yourself and ask yourself this question. Who's around me? Who's in my circle? Who's in my ear? Because the relationships in your life, they're either lifting you up or they're taking you down. There's no middle position. There's no holding position in life. They either elevate you or they are compromising your strength and your power. Who's in your circle? Who's in your ear? Who's influencing you? Studies indicate you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. What are you reading? What are you watching? How are you spending your time? Because based upon how you spend your time, you say you've got goals and dreams. If you're spending more time with your friends, if you're spending more time filling your head with head trash, if you're spending more time throwing your time away and don't know where the time went, if you spend your time going through the day rather than focusing on what can you get from the day, and you're not spending the majority of your time and energy on your dream, you're seriously not serious. Because when you have a dream, it takes everything in you. When you have a dream, it takes that look in those eyes that I saw in South Africa. It takes that level of energy and intensity that I felt from them. When you have a dream, it takes a mindset that I'm going to make it happen no matter what. It takes that kind of attitude, as A.L. Williams talked about. All you can do is all you can do. And all you can do is enough, but make sure you do all you can do. And I had to do that with me. I had to do that with myself on a regular basis. Am I doing all I can do to take care of me, to keep my mind straight, and to focus and to ignite and to continue to take my healing to the next level? Am I doing all I can do? And I had someone in my circle who looked at me and said, you're not using your mind to serve you. And the biggest battle you've ever been in your life, you can do this. And I had to hear him. It's very good to have people in your life that you can hear, that they speak to you and not become defensive and not come up with excuses. And not only must you look at your relationships and ask, what is this relationship doing to when you have an assignment on your life, I can tell you, as much as you have chosen the dream, it has chosen you. It has chosen you. So I say, make your life count. Make it count. To have that kind of mindset, I'm going to make my life count. I heard a lady who said on a plane, she saved for 2 years. For 2 years, her goal was to buy her husband a tattoo. That was her focus for 2 years. Now, and there's nothing wrong with tattoos, but to me, if you're going to have a goal, if you're going to focus on saving something for 2 years, let it be about starting a nonprofit that will be designed to reduce the carnage, the killings that are taking place among our young people, taking each other out because they don't know who they are and they don't value human life. And when you don't value your own life, you don't value somebody else's life. Lady called me today. She said, Mr. Brown, I remember when you were in Chicago and you were trying to start a community organization at the Regal Theater, and people were excited about that, and you had some political opposition. Are you coming back to do that? I remember when you went for 6 weeks in a row to the Peace Center in Englewood to try and reduce the violence there, and you got in a fight. The 6th week that you were there, those people got in front of you, and a guy tested you, and you got in a fight. It was on the front page of the Chicago Defender. Will you be back? Because so many people are being killed here. A lot of people love to see you come do that again. And when I think about her voice, I said, what are you doing? See, one of the things I realized, that everything happens as it should. That was a disappointing time for me. That was a big disappointment. And it took the wind out of me. That here I am, Les Brown, volunteering to go into Englewood, where most people were afraid to go. And a guide confronts me with 5 other young men standing around, backing him up, at a crowd of about 100 people, and he didn't know me well because Liberty City came out. He didn't know me well because Overtown came out. I came from Overtown in Miami, Good Bread Alley, and Bucket the Blood, where we used to have signs say, do your cutting and shooting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and avoid the weekend rush. He got up in my face, and I said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going down by swinging first, and I hit him first and got in his chest. He was stunned, 6'4". He was shocked, and I knew the crowd would intervene before they just picked my butt up and threw me in the bushes. Well, I'll never forget the look in his eyes when I hit him and grabbed him. I don't know. He was like, you fool, do you not see these 5 young boys standing around me, and I'm looking down at you? You going to hit me? Yes. Let me tell you something. When you have a goal and dream in life to do something, there are going to be some bullies that will get in your face, that'll bully you. Friends, loved ones, people who should be there to encourage you will be there to tell you you can't do that. Bullies of all kinds, who are negative, who won't lift a finger to help you. Goliath was a bully, but he lost. David had 5 stones, but he only used 1. I'm saying to you, when you have a goal, you have a dream that's worth anything at all, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a fight. Something's going to happen. I'm telling you what I've learned and what I've lived and what I've witnessed and what I've gone through. But that's not there to stop you. They meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. You're going to learn some things about yourself.
You're going to develop some skills and some faith and some confidence. No test, no testimony. You need to write that down. Life is just testing you. No test, no testimony. No guts, no glory. No. It's a great time. It's a great time. Don't listen to the naysayers. This is a great time that you have to be resourceful. You have to have courage. You've got to be creative. You've got to be relentless. You want to be surrounded with people who are going someplace, who want something out of life, and come out among people who don't want to do anything in life but talk. Come out from among them. But you're cut from a different cloth. Henry David Thoreau said, if a man doesn't keep pace with his companions, perhaps he's listening to the beat of a different drummer. Let him dance to the music that he hears, however measured or far apart. You are different, the fact that you're listening to me. You are different, the fact that you're building an organization. You are different, the fact that you've said, I'm going to create my own income. You are different. The fact that you said, if nobody's going to give me a job, I will create my own. The fact that you said, I can do more. I deserve more. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to take care of my family, whatever it takes to control my destiny, whatever it takes to move my life to another level, whatever it takes to buy my mother a home, whatever it takes to provide for my family, whatever it takes so I'm not stressed out of my mind working a job that's beneath my intelligence. No, I'm not going out like this. No, that's not me. No. Henry David Thoreau also said, if a man doesn't keep pace with his companions, perhaps he's listening to the beat of a different drummer. Let him dance to the music that he hears, however measured or far apart. You're different. You're uncommon. You're listening to a different beat. All of us are born unique, but most people die copies. But one so-called celebrity start wearing earrings, and then you start seeing everybody, men, wearing earrings. When I was a little boy, you didn't wear no earrings in Goodbread Island, Bucket of Blood, in Liberty City. What? Earrings? Come on. Can you imagine they had to have a dress code at Morehouse where Dr. Martin Luther King walked the campus? They have a dress code for men that you can't come up in here with your fingernails painted. Can't come up in here wearing no pale pushers. For men, come on. Something has happened. Something has happened. I saw the BET Awards, and I just wanted to know what kind of mind do you have to be in to look at a mirror, thank you so much. Let me finish. You know, I'm on fire up in here. Let me tell you something. Let me say to y'all, I know this is not politically correct. And I'm an old-timer. I understand that. I'm an old geezer, okay? I'm old-fashioned. But I don't care how old I am. I still want to know what state of mind do you have to be in to stand in the mirror and deliberately pull your pants down so that somebody can see your underwear or the top of the crack of your behind and go on television or come out in public and think that's okay. And let me say to those of you who see that, do not say anything to them. They know what they're doing. They're very aware. And when someone operates at that low level of consciousness, remember the words, don't cast pearls before swines. That's low consciousness people, lest they turn and rend you, which means they're going to get upset with you and get in your face. Get in your, no, leave them alone. Leave them alone. It's none of our business. It's none of our business. Because, and I remember reading this book called The Kabbalion. It said the lips the wise are sealed to the ears of the ignorant. There's some people that the level of ignorance is so deep that they want to call attention to themselves by showing their drawers. That's deep. That says something there. That's showing their drawers. Going out in public, uncouth, no class, and think that's hip, and dare you to say something. No, that's their journey. They come through us, but our children come from God. That's different. That's different. There's a different mindset up in here right now, and I could tell you, being in South Africa, from people who were so grateful. Teach me how to dream. Teach me how to speak. Teach me how to tell my story. Teach me how to be unstoppable. Teach me how to make something of myself. Let me share something with you. Jesus said, whosoever will, let him come. In other words, work with the willing. Work with those who are willing to work. Work with those who are willing to work. Everybody will get it when they're ready for it. But for the grace of God, there goes I. I used to be crazy. I used to be real crazy. I remember coming home to my mama. Leslie, what are you doing? My name is Leslie X. Mamie Brown said, what the hell are you talking about? I went down. I had gone down to the Muslim temple, to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad temple, and heard Malcolm X talk. I came home. I said, my name is Leslie X. I know those Leslie Brown. I ain't got no slave name. Mama said, let me go back there and get me that broom. She didn't ask for the switch. I was a Muslim for about one day. This curse said, maybe what you doing? I'm about to beat this boy here. It's about his name, Leslie X. I got an X boy. I used to be crazy. I remember they used to have something called cocaine when I was young. People used to have process, right? In order to get a process, you got to put some cocaine in your hair. I didn't know about cocaine, so I wanted to get a process like all the entertainers that I'd seen, like Nat King Cole and Sammy Davis Jr. I was 16 years old. Me and George Cooper and Boo, we went and got some cocaine. And we put the cocaine in our hair to make our hair wavy. We sitting around looking at television. I remember Mickey Mouse, M-I-C, see you real soon, K-U-I-Y, because we like you. All of a sudden, that cocaine started burning our hair. Boo ran to the kitchen sink. George ran to the bathroom. I got to the bathroom before him and turned the water on my head. And then Jabbo was there. He turned on the shower with his head. And I looked around and David was there. He tried to put his head in the toilet. Because that cocaine was burning our heads up. Oh, my God. We were crazy. We were trying to get some waves. We were trying to get curly hair. I remember we putting on Ultra, skin tone green cream, trying to look lighter. Black wasn't beautiful then. This is before James Brown put out, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Oh, no, this is the time you want to get killed. Call somebody black. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. This is real. We've all had these moments where we've been crazy, just straight out of our minds. We all had moments when we've been temporarily insane, where we look back on our lives and say, what state of mind was I in? And I'm sure I'd like to be around here when many of these young people get old and got tattoos in their faces and all over when they get up in their 60s and 70s. Start sagging. Say, what state of mind was I in when I did that? I mean, a permanent fad. Oh, my gosh. Boy, this thing called life. Isn't it wonderful? I'm just so grateful that I'm here. As I was coming from South Africa, I was in line coming through customs singing, God bless America. Let me tell you something. Stuff we take for granted. Mr. Brown, how do you do that? What are you talking about? How do you dream? When I was in Poland and went to Auschwitz and went to the prisons and saw the faces of men, women, and children, Jews that were exterminated, killed because they were Jews in 1945 in Poland. This takes your breath away. Traveling internationally, you got to travel. You got to go around the world. There's things to see. There's a whole world out here. And I see it in your future. I don't know you. I can't see you. But the fact that you're listening to me says that you are cut above. The fact that you have not hung the phone up and turned on the television. The fact that you're still here says there's something in your heart of hearts that says there's another world out here, and I want to live a bigger life. And I see that for you. I see that for you. If you're sleeping in your car, if you're sleeping on a friend's couch, if you don't have two pennies to rub together, I see you. I see you living your dream. I see you having the power to do more and to have more. I know what Willie Jolly meant when he said a setback is a setup for a comeback. You're down to nothing, God is up to something. If you're down to nothing, God is up to something. Don't give up. Stand your ground. Because you've got something special. You've got greatness in you. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Anita?
Powerful, powerful message, Les. I tell you, when you said that this gentleman asked you, how do you dream? Just the little
How do you do that?
I know, how do you do? I mean, we just take that for granted. We walk around and talk about, I have a dream, and we have the opportunity to actually live our dream. So,
let me tell you something. You know, most people don't even remember Dr. Martin Luther King. All they know now about the King sales, you know, products they can buy at discount. Most people don't have a dream. They don't know why he said that. They don't know about the times that when I was a kid and they had a water fountain that black people couldn't drink from the same water fountain as white people. I remember as a kid when didn't know, I was like 5 years old and ran up to this water fountain and started drinking, and my mother started beating me, and I did not have a clue. Why was she beating me like this? And a white policeman was coming. He had a club, and she told Miss Lillian, she said, I hit my son and started beating him to distract the police officer because I didn't want him to bust my son in the head with his club. And he would have. He would have, you know. I remember we got on the bus, and we had to sit in the back of the bus. I remember working with Sam Axelrod, who was my mentor as a kid, selling TVs, and they had signs on Miami Beach, Jews, dogs, and the N-word, not allowed, in that order. Jews, dogs, and the N-word, not allowed. And the Jews bought it and said, y'all come on. I'm telling you. So it is when being in South Africa, where they are just 20 years out from under a regime of apartheid where they were not allowed to dream, and seeing people who are experiencing the pain and don't know the impact that has had and is now having on their psyche, still is. A lot of stuff that we've gone through, we haven't shaken that off yet. Yeah. A lot of stuff. That's why this area of self-development, of working on yourself, developing yourself, becoming a part of a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, listening to motivational messages, going to seminars and workshops, investing in yourself is so crucial. It's so crucial because most of us don't know that we don't know and we think we know.
Yes.
It's so crucial.
Absolutely. And, you know, you always say what's possible for one is possible for all. And we are actually living in that time. That
this is the greatest
possible.
time in the history of the world. In the history, we are living in a time we saw two things that we never thought we would see. One, Nelson Mandela, who spent 26 years in prison opposing apartheid, came out and became the president of that country and was magnanimous enough to turn to his captors and say to them, I forgive you. What manner of man is that? And then President Barack Hussein Obama, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, born in Hawaii, raised on the south side of Chicago, community activist, becoming the most powerful man on the planet, not once but twice in our lifetime. In our lifetime. There are three events in our lifetime that we have lived to witness. The first one, 1961, when President Kennedy said, we're going to the moon in 10 years, and we did it in 8. The next one, Nelson Mandela. And the next one, President Barack Obama. And I have to also include the civil rights movement, because for the first time in the history of the world, a minority pushed the majorities back against the wall and got their freedom. That has never happened in the history of the world, that a minority, that we represents 10% of the population, that we were able to fight and get our freedom. Now in South Africa, the blacks are the majority. But in America, we were the minority. That has never happened in the history of the world, the civil rights movement, and we won.
Absolutely.
So we can do more than produce athletes and drug dealers. We can do more than walk around with our pants below our butts. There's something mentally wrong when your future generation don't have a level of awareness to pull their pants up and to say, in the conversations about these young girls, the bootylicious, that's a whole other conversation. This work, that's why we have to train. We have to train 100,000 voices of hope. The church has done it. We can see the church has done the best that it could. You look at the L.A. preachers. Let me tell you something. I hate that program because there are a lot of good men and women who believe in God, who've accepted Jesus as their personal Lord and Savior, who've dedicated their lives to making a difference, and that show is not a true reflection of preachers in this country, of ministers in this country. I know. That is not a true reflection. That is so embarrassing. It is such a misrepresentation. And why they would do that, I don't understand. I know why the networks would do it. I know why the advertisers, because they get an audience. But why those men would lend themselves to be a part of that, knowing that television's about controversy? Mm-hmm. Why? Men of the cloth.
And you know some of those ministers.
I why they would do that. That is not a true reflection of the church. I have never watched a complete episode. When I saw the first one, and what's his boy's name? When Jones said, Noel Jones, I am the prize. You had to win me. I'm the prize. Oh, Lord, Jesus, help me, somebody. I just had to, I was through. I don't make myself available for head trash. That's head trash.
Yes.
I got work to do. I've got work to
Absolutely.
do. God is not through with me yet. Okay.
Well, one of the things, Ness, do we have time to open up the call for a few minutes?
Well, first of all, I want Stacy I'm going to be at the Founders Church this week, and I want people to come out. If you know somebody in L.A., call them and tell them to turn out. I'm on fire. So much I want to share with you that I couldn't do tonight, that my experience of being in South Africa. Have Stacy. Stacy, give the announcement. Be Hassan and Makiva and Barbara and Kalani.
I don't think Stacy is on the call, but let me give I have the announcement for December
and
the
people
6th.
can go to brown.les, my Facebook, brown.les, and they can sign up for that and spread the word and get tickets for somebody to attend. It's going to be transformative, and they're going to learn a lot about social media, how to market themselves, how to put together systems for their business. There's no secret to success. There's a system to it, how to start a home-operated business on your computer and create non-performance income. It's going to be a great experience, and we're looking for some business partners. It's going to be great, people who are ready to make some money. Yeah.
So let me give those of you that are on the call. The date is December the 6th. It's from 6 to 10 p.m., and it's at the Founders Center in Los Angeles, California. And you can register for this event, Jumpstart 2014, and you can register at www.brainpowermovement.com/jumpstart. But if you go to Les Brown's Facebook page, brown.les, that's the one where it has over 249,000.
Wow.
So that is the one. There's a couple of other ones out there, but that is the one that is the official, the real Les Brown. So you can go onto that page and you can register and sign up to see Les Brown in Los Angeles, California. I know that Stacy is doing an event, and she wasn't able to get back on the call, but we'll have all the additional calls, all of the other ways that you can stay connected to Les Brown. We announce it every week. So we're going to try to have that posted on Les Brown's page, because a lot of times people are asking, how can we find out about all of those ways that we can stay connected every week? But definitely go to Les Brown's Facebook page and sign up for this event on December the 6th. And Les is going to be there. He has some of his other platinum speakers, and he has some strategic partners. It is going to be a powerful, powerful event to jumpstart your 2014.
It is. I can't wait. I'm on fire. I tell you, being in Africa, it's in the motherland. It's life transformative, and I encourage everybody to have that experience. Dr. Julie Van Putten was in rare form over there. She and Candace Haynes, they did an incredible job, and people love them. It's there are places in this world where when you go and you have a message to empower people. We were in Perth and Adelaide, Australia, Singapore, Poland, Malaysia. There are people, trust me on this, I believe this with all my heart, that if you have a hunger and a passion to change people's lives, there's somebody somewhere around the world waiting to hear your story, and that they are your assignment. They might hear me, they might hear Dr. Julie, they might hear Candace Haynes, but there's some people, I strongly believe, Anita, that's your assignment, and that when you speak, they will hear you. When you come in, when they see you, they will identify with you. And I believe that we cannot, this is no time to sit back and just allow politicians or religious leaders, politicians say, vote for me, I'll give you a piece of the American pie, or religious leaders saying, do as I tell you to do, and I'll teach you how to live after you die. We need everyday people, ordinary people who want to live an extraordinary life to use their story. You want to make a difference in people's lives. This week, you got a voice. Trust me on this. You have a voice. And you're, well, I don't have a college education. That's what I stopped myself with for 14 years. God does not call those who are qualified. He qualified those he calls. That's what Ruel Bardsdale told me out of Columbus, Ohio. And he was absolutely right. You are qualified. You've gone through some stuff. You've experienced some stuff. You got a story, and there's somebody that can profit from your pain and how you got over. And I know you can feel like Aretha said, how I got over. Sometimes I look back and I wonder how I got over. Trust me, I know about that. And I'm saying to you, this is your time to make a difference. This is an incredible time on the planet that we are alive. Thank you. Let me talk to some people, and then I'm having a hot flash right now.
We're going to open up for a few minutes, so star 6 to unmute your line now. For those of you that get on every week and we hear you, we appreciate you. Let's hear a few of the callers that don't get on as often. You know who you are. We love you. We appreciate you. So let's hear some new callers.
All callers are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing star 6.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello, Mr. Brown.
Hello, how are you?
Good. This is Emilia. I met you recently at a Success Conference in Maryland.
Yes. How are you, Amelia?
I'm good. Thank you. I've been trying to find out about the workshop on December 14th.
Oh,
That is
Anita,
so
do you
that-
have that information? I tell you what I want you to do is be on the call next week. I have all the particulars about that, okay?
All right. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Anita, we got to block everybody out. We got to get a distant system.
All callers are muted.
You know what? There must be a way in which we can open up each line individually so I can talk to people. Let's talk with the service that we have and see can we work that out, because
Absolutely,
can't do
because right now everybody just jumps on, and we want to hear from you all. So here's what we want you to do. We want you to go on the Facebook page, Les Brown, brown.les, and we want you to post your comments there.
Brown.les, and post your comments there.
Post your comments there, and we will reach out to you. But we want to hear your comments, and we want to hear your feedback. Well, thank you, Les. I know that we have our platinum call at 9 o'clock, and I know that you are fired up and ready for it. So
Let the record show.
I know you are. It is 8:58, and so for all of you callers, invite someone on the call next week, and remember to come out to the event in December, and we're looking forward for you all, your participation. Go to brown.les and register for that event. Les, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate the gift that you bring to the universe, and we look forward to having you on the call next week.
Thank you so much. I'm fired up. I'll be ready next week. I was very calm tonight, but next week I'm going to really cut loose.
You were not calm. Well, listeners, we thank you. We appreciate you. And as I always remind you, never, ever give up on your dreams, because the world awaits your light, your authentic gift. God bless you all, and God bless your dreams. Good night, everyone.